Hey everyone, okay, I'm going to do a quick video. This came from an email from one of my girls in my online program. Again, she didn't want to post it in the group, so I'm going to do a full video because I think it's probably going to support more people. Basically about for anxiety, what she can do for anxiety, and any supplements she can take or food she can take that will help with just having anxiety in general. So basically, before I get into what supplements and foods and stuff to use and avoid, the most important thing to know is the different types of causes of anxiety. Normally, anxiety comes from two different sections of your brain. You've got your amygdala, which is like your fight or flight, you know, your small part of your brain that like that reaction and fear and that edginess that comes on all of a sudden is normally your amygdala kicking in. And then you've got your frontal cortex, which is like your thought anxiety. So when you're thinking about things that are going to happen in the future or things that have happened in the past, or so-and-so said this about me at the fucking water cooler, that's your frontal cortex. Your anxiety where you feel really anxious for no reason and it just kind of comes on suddenly is your amygdala kicking in. So the two parts of the brain, it's important to understand because the anxiety that comes from both of those are very, very different, and how you would approach and fix them is going to be very different. So basically, what you need to do first is determine the source of anxiety. So there's lots of different things that can cause it, and depending on if it's amygdala based or frontal cortex based, your strategy is going to be different. So the amygdala based anxiety is like if, for example, you're in a relationship with somebody or you have a boss at work who's always shouting at you, that's going to be amygdala based, because every time you see them you get that feeling in your chest where your stomach goes into your mouth. That's an anxiety that's caused from the amygdala. So it's going to be a case that you have no control of it. You can't talk it down. It's just going to come on regardless. The way to deal with that normally isn't so much with a supplement, even though there's things with supplements and foods, and I'll talk about that at the end of the video. The most important thing there is to try and limit the exposure to the person or the thing that's causing that amygdala response. So if there's a relationship and your partner is, you know, hating on you or being really negative, or a family member or a friend that's always putting you down, or a boss that's always shouting at you, you want to try and reduce that amount of time you spend with them. The reality is, if you're in that environment, you need to get your fucking self out of it, you know, or start putting the plans in place to get yourself out of it. That's number one. Your frontal cortex anxiety then is normally like your thoughts of things that are going on in the future, things that are going on in the past. You know, what did so-and-so say about me? What am I going to do when I go out if I see this person? That's your frontal cortex anxiety. It's literally thinking too much. You're overthinking. A great book, can't remember the author, but it's Rewire Your Anxious Brain. I put it on my Snapchat there last week because I finished it. Really, really good read, particularly anyone that struggles with anxiety, whether chronic or just, you know, off the cuff, like your amygdala kicking in. It gave me a really good understanding of it. But that frontal cortex based anxiety is there's strategies you can do to really support that. I'll talk about how to fix it from a physiological point of view, but things like reading books like Rewire Your Anxious Brain that makes you understand what's happening on a physiological point of view, that your body's responding by releasing cortisol. Sometimes the understanding of that can allow you to talk yourself down, and you can realize that, well, actually, you know, it doesn't matter what fucking so-and-so said about me last night or whatever it is. I find personally reading philosophy and reading self-help massively supports me. Like Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within, Seneca's Letters from a Stoic, or The Shortness of Life, and I'm nearly finished Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday as well, as an amazing book written like in normal language, breaking down ideas from ancient philosophers. Incredible read. Sometimes those perspectives allow you to just stop being anxious. They make you stop. I got a lovely message from one of my friends. I must put it on my Facebook. I had it on my Snapchat. Basically, he was in my online program. He's in phase 2 now, and he wrote me a lovely message going, look, I'm in amazing shape, best I've ever been in, but the most important thing is my mind. He goes, I literally just don't give a fuck what people say, because I gave him a book list. I gave him a book recommendation in the group Q&As, and he's gone through all of them. He's like, I just don't care anymore. He goes, it's amazing. He goes, it's so liberating. Sometimes just arming yourself with some of that knowledge can completely rewire your brain from a frontal cortex point of view. The last thing then you need to look out for really is your supplements and your food. Certain foods are going to make you more anxious, and they're going to make you put you into a fight or flight. Like your highly processed foods, you're loaded with E additives and different preservatives, are going to send your body into a fight or flight response, which is going to make you more anxious. It's going to when your body's in a physiological fight or flight state from food it's eaten, you're not going to be able to control anxiety because you're physiologically not in balance. So cutting those foods and limiting those like E additives that get put into different diet drinks and different foods. Limit those and fix yourself from a hormonal and physiological point of view, and you will massively reduce your anxiety nearly overnight. On the supplement side, then you want to avoid things like fat burners, high levels of caffeine, things that, again, send your body into a fight or flight. The reality is, if you can take your body out of going into fight or flight with the exceptional times of when you want to go training, because that's a good stressor, it'll release cortisol, and your body will be able to burn through body fat and glucose and glycogen and all that good stuff, but you want to avoid it any other time of the day. So if you can reduce those levels, reduce it from your food, reduce it from your supplements, which is like your fat burners and your over-the-counter caffeine pills and just too much coffee in general, and like Monster and Red Bull and those high caffeinated drinks, they're going to do that. They're going to send you into a fight or flight. So if you reduce those and cut those, it's going to massively reduce your anxiety, and you're going to feel so much better for it. The ones to add in then is probably going to be like things like 5-HTP, which is tryptophan, which is you take it before you go to bed. It helps release serotonin in the brain. The better the serotonin and dopamine levels are in your brain, the more relaxed your body will become. For example, I have 5-HTP and GABA are two of the sleep supplements in my online program, but they're also used for anti-anxiety because they'll put your body into a calmer state, but you need to do everything else first as well. Arm yourself with the knowledge of the frontal cortex and talking yourself down for this stupid shit that people are saying about you. Understand there's an amygdala. That's a response. You need to take yourself out of that situation. Your fight or flight. You're not fighting a fucking tiger now with your boss being a dick. So you just avoid that situation or try and find a new job, and then fix yourself from a physiological point of view by not eating the processed foods, not eating those ingredients, and then avoiding things like too much caffeine, and then supplementing back in your GABA and 5-HTP to bring your body into balance. So I hope this video helps. Please like and share the page if you're on Facebook. I'll be replying to comments for the next 24 hours.